Thanks so much, Pat. With schools back in session, school sports teams are also back on the field, and with that comes the risk of injuries. Joining us to talk about it is Dr. Paul Fedeli of University Orthopedics. He's also the head physician for Brown University Athletics and for the Providence Bruins. Thanks so much for being here, Doc.
Good morning.
All right, this kind of confuses me because kids seem to be getting injured more and more. I would think it would be less because we're figuring out, the technology for better helmets. We're also training kids better on the fields. Why are kids getting injured more and more often?
The numbers are actually scary. We think there's over 20 million kids participating in sports right now, and a significant number of these kids will get hurt. What we think is going on is they're being pushed harder and harder, faster and faster. They're not young adults. They're children. Their bodies have not yet fully matured, and we're asking them to do sports that their bodies are not capable of it. So they're straining and spraining. As they get older, they're tearing and breaking, and we're pushing them just a little bit too hard right now.
Now, I know when I was growing up, I was playing sports year-round. Patrick has a son that's playing hockey, 12 months a year. Are they being overworked with too many sports at such a young age?
A lot of people think that's exactly what the problem is. These overuse injuries, these kids never have downtime. Where in the old days, you'd have a 3-sport athlete and they'd have downtime. Nowadays, it's all year round, 12 months a year. The training is intense, but these young bodies often can't handle that. And again, you have kids who maybe at 16 at grossly different levels of maturity playing against one another. It's just not a fair contest some days.
You hear you want to keep your kids active, but obviously being too active can almost be a bad thing.
Well, there are some things in our orthopedic society are talking about stop the trauma, stop the injuries. And that's the problem is you'll see these kids who are playing soccer at 14 on 3 or 4 different teams.
Yep.
And at some point the body's burning out because, again, they're not young adults. They're still kids. They're still growing. Their bodies are not mature.
Any advice for parents out there, just besides, kind of slow them down in terms of 4 or 5 practices a day?
I think cross-training is good. Get them out of just playing in 3 or 4 or 5 soccer leagues, etc., and give the kids a little downtime. A lot of our children are actually burning out. It's things we couldn't believe happened years ago because of the intensity that the coaches and the parents have that they're placing on these children. So keep a finger on your kids. Make sure that they're enjoying the sports and they're not almost resenting it because of the pressure or pain that they're being pushed through.
We only have a few seconds left, but I wanted to touch on concussions. We're learning more and more about concussions. How do you see us preventing this in the future?
This is one of the hottest topics in sports, and the difficulty is we're just starting to recognize all these young athletes are getting hurt and hit hard, and so in the state of Rhode Island, the red flag went up. We have to catch more and more of this. It's something that parents and coaches have to be cognizant of.
Doctor, thanks so much. Good stuff as always. Very important topic, and for more information on children's sports injuries, just head over to foxprovidence.com.